Hey there YouTube, this is Austin with Wreck to Death Disc Golf. I'm here with Coach Frosty and his son Blake. We're here on hole 1 at Cottage Hill. Frosty and I are gonna be doing a players pack challenge with the 3 discs that we got at the Fling for Wings doubles tournament. And Blake here is trying out for Team Wreck to Death. So we'll be throwing just these 3 discs from the white tees. Blake will be throwing his regular bag from the red tees. Let's see the line and get after it.
Good luck.
All right, hole 1, the 265-foot par 3. For the righties, it's just throw it straight, let it finish left. You can go outside of that middle pine tree with a bigger hyzer. Lefties have it a little more difficult.
Yeah, want to get this to turn over and turn it right into the tree there. So, middle of the fairway though.
Yeah. Well, with that brand new plastic, it's not flippy at all.
There's Blake's first throw. That was a beautiful throw.
Giving it a rip.
Good shot.
Deep of the basket.
Yeah, I think he went about 20 feet past the basket actually.
Yeah.
Putter shot.
It's a little easy hyzer up.
I did like the grip on that putter.
Yeah, it's kind of deep. It's feels like a deeper Judge. Might even be deeper than a Wizard.
And the plastic was soft, grippy, so didn't make the bag, but wasn't that bad. Oh, a little short.
Yeah, Nancy it.
Don't Nancy it inside the circle.
Nancy. Give it a chance.
Try to clean the par up here. All right. We'll get to Blake. He got in that rough over there, but what a drive.
Oh yeah. He looks like he's just feeling so much more comfortable off the tee. Just got to work on the scoring shots, up shots and putts, and he'll be fine. Got that stealth bag. I took that. I like it for what it is. I just don't know how often I'll use it.
I thought it was neat. It's more like a hiking bag though. Like if you're just going to trek on and just take 3 or 4 discs with you. Oh, that was a beautiful turnover there. Nice and steady. I believe this hole's 280, 290.
I kind of like how that one comes out pretty quick.
You disc has it at 279.
279. Blake a little shorter, a little grip lock there.
That mid-range that I threw on the first one and the second one, Frosty threw it on one. It's an MX3 in the 400 plastic. Coach looked up the numbers. The numbers are 5402. So when I'm thinking about and planning, I'm going to kind of plan that I have a disc that's a little bit less overstable than a Rock 3, and hopefully that'll be close enough where I'm not throwing crazy shots. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought at the beginning. It really ended up being closer to an EMAC in the flight shape. But starting out thinking that was close. Starting out thinking about it as a straighter Rock 3 was a good place to start.
Here's Blake with his third shot. He went to this flick putt about halfway through the round, or for about half of the round, and just didn't think it worked for him, but he's still trying to figure that out.
Well, I like that one as a forehand because it's still kind of outside his putting range, so it's more of a forehand upshot. He just needs to start it out further to the left and he'd be fine.
Yep.
But yeah, when he gets into putting distance, trying this out, putting everything.
Like right there, I would have liked to have seen him just line up a standard putt.
Yeah. That's actually a slammer that he's using that for, and those things just have no glide at all. So gotta get him with a little glidier putter in hand so he can work on and perfect that backhand putt.
And that's what we talked about with him after the round was disc selection is going to be key. And then, you know, knowing how hard to throw it when you get closer to the basket. Hole 3. Basically for the righties, it's a straight up the gut, but you've got to go left of these triple trees here. Not quite that far left.
Triple trees. Yeah, those ones on the left, those have been the bane of my existence for a little while now.
Y'all make sure y'all watch my disc, 'cause it's exactly like Coach Austin's. I don't want him trying to play from mine.
That's a fair thing to worry about.
So basically, I just throw off to the left gap there and just hope it hyzers back. Yeah. It's a harder hole for a lefty.
Oh, nice.
That was a good smooth release.
Oh, kick back toward the basket.
Birdie land.
Yeah, so I'm just going to try to go forehand, kind of force it over a little bit, and trust the disc to come back. Just comes out super wobbly.
But there is a gap to the basket that way.
Yeah.
Is that you or that's you there?
That's me. This would be for par.
So it tried to fight back. Got to go with a little Annie here. Get it. Oh. You're loving that basket right now.
True metal.
That cage.
I'll take drawing metal over an air ball.
That's right. Ooh, not bad there.
That's bad.
I believe that was my par.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just a little score update. Frosty's at even. I'm at 1 up, and Blake's at 2 up.
Hole 4, basically want to throw something down straight at that oak tree and have it turn right a little.
Yeah, U-disc says 233 feet. That's probably about right.
Yeah, in that short location, it's basically just a tunnel shot, and then you want it to finish right.
Yeah.
But finishing straight at the tree or a little left, you're still within the circle.
Yeah, I'm going to try a tomahawk here.
This is with your driver.
Yeah. Boop.
Ooh, that sounded like a tree.
Yep. An early
Better than
tree.
that to get an idea.
Yeah, right before the shot I said, I'm going to try to get an idea of how this flies as a tomahawk. And then Coach shows me what it throws like as a tomahawk. So
That'll do.
I'll get an idea off of his throw.
Yeah, I do remember that. I missed my gap, but a lot of times on the tomahawk in the woods, you can get lucky.
Boom. Hit that tree right in front of me, too. That
Trapped onto my finger.
I was talking about earlier, it's a little bit deeper
Right.
than my putters, and it just
Kick right. There you go.
held onto my finger.
That Blake threw, I believe, was a Warden, and that looked good coming out of his hand.
That purple one's a Warden?
Yeah, I
I
think
thought
so.
that was a Marshall.
It is a Marshall.
Okay.
I have a Warden, that's right, it's a Marshall.
Let's see, if he's got a Warden, why isn't he putting with a Warden? Alright, so that was a 5 for me and a 3 for Frosty and Blake. So I'm at +3, Frosty's still at even, and Blake's at +2.
And everyone's favorite hole here, hole 5.
Still have not birdied hole 5.
Got me a birdie on it the other day. There were no witnesses, but you can just believe me.
I've seen him throw the tomahawk skip shot, I believe it.
And that was a super nice line there.
And that's a new line that I'm going for now.
All right, we just let a group play through, so got a little bit of time. I'll tell you all about the driver. The driver is an H3
Also in the 400 plastic, right?
Yes.
Yeah, also in the 400 plastic. I looked it up on Marshall Street Flight Guide, and the numbers were 10.402 or 10.502.
Ooh,
I think it was 10. I think it was 10.4.
I looked it up on that.
Okay. Well, the turn and fade are 02. The flight guide had it right below an N of a wraith, so a little bit slower, but similar flight characteristics. Which I guess -1.3 and 02 are really similar. So it should fly like a little bit slower wraith.
Yeah, so my kind of thought process there was -1.3 is just one more in each direction from 0.2, so it's
Forehand
the
roller?
same
Yeah.
type of line, just maybe
You just said
straighter,
yesterday that
a
you
little
did
bit less
You did it the other day because you didn't
less
think it through.
inclination to turn to the right, but that's probably about right because it wanted to go left, but not as hard as my Wraith would have. So, but it didn't have near as much glide.
Well, and they're brand new, you know. We're breaking them in nice during this round, though. That's
Yeah.
a good way to bend the putter up there.
Yeah. Well, and I talked you out of going with the forehand roller.
Right.
I thought it was a good idea to talk you out of it because you had just said that about,
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
wish I hadn't have done it with
now.
all this stuff on the ground, and then
Back. Nice.
and then the one you went with, you hit a tree. And I was like, oh, sorry. I guess I should have just left you
I didn't film my shot.
yet again.
It was a good
Easy
one.
hyzer up to the basket, sitting right underneath for a drop-in 3.
Yeah, I think I went either right in front
Really
of or
close
right
to the
behind
first
it.
birdie ever on this hole. I'd have been really mad if I'd missed that shot.
Which I had something similar the other day and hit chains. It would have been for the birdie. But
This is a great one to get. You birdie this hole
Still
and
hunting.
you're gaining at least one stroke on the entire field.
oh yeah.
Pretty sure here you gain about 2 on me and Blake.
You go next, Frosty. Give Blake a second to take a breath and recenter.
U-Disc says this one's 393. I don't know if I buy that. I think it's over 4.
I would have to say over 4.
415 probably.
Oh!
Now that was nice.
Yeah, I think shots like that, though, are what's got it in his head that he needs to change his putting style to that. But
He feels like he's a little more accurate, but the problem is when you don't hit chains, where's the disc going after? Which he was fortunate here. I mean, that was a great shot.
right.
But his form looks good that way too, though. It's like I'd rather him do the more normal putting style, but whatever makes you comfortable.
Yeah. I went with the mid-range here just to try to stay closer to the fairway, and I just throw it with too much hyzer, and it just has no chance to stay in the fairway. Frosty's going to go with the driver here.
Oh yeah, carry.
So that's really the line you want to take, but you want it to go a lot farther.
How often do we say that? That was good if it had just been this much farther.
Blake, nice.
Blake hugging the right side. Did a nice
Kick
roll
back
back
out.
out. Nice roll.
And so he's actually in prime position. Oh, forehand roller coming
Yeah,
up.
right after I convinced you not to do it. And then that went through my head like, I just convinced Frosty not to do it. Maybe I should throw a forehand. I try to line it up a couple of different ways here, throwing the forehand, and just none of them make sense. None of them look good through this gap.
Well, you want to go through this gap, but then you see the big pine trees down the fairway, and that's just you got to get around those. It's a tricky little shot.
Yeah. And then we were getting more wind in the woods than we normally get, and it was blowing right to left. And I just did not take it into account. put the roller down, and it blew straight over to the left. Hit a tree. I think I only threw it like 30 feet.
I think I'm going with the tomahawk through the gap.
Tommy Hawk. Real close.
If I could, yeah.
Fist bump.
Usually right side on this hole is treacherous, and I lucked out and threw a good Tommy Hawk through there.
Tommy Hawkins.
I believe Blake has a little struggle here.
Yeah, he yanks it over.
It hit something.
He's still learning the stability of the disc, and so that was his shark, which is really understable, and if you notice, he released it on an anhyzer. Just needed to throw that on a hyzer.
Is it a DX shark?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a DX. Got a good look here.
Get in.
Get in the basket, okay. Now that was pretty.
That was the shape I was going for, anyway.
And was that the mid-range?
No, that was the driver.
Oh, that was the driver, okay.
Yeah. That's what that driver feels great in the hand for forehands. A real flat top.
Just a little past.
Nice putt.
Nice putt. That was for the 3, right?
I believe I threed that one.
Yeah, 3.
This is for bogey?
1, 2.
Oh.
Yeah, that would have been for bogey. This is for 5.
You made an adjustment though. You hit the top that time.
Yeah.
See, I like how Blake lines it up. Man, everything looked great there, I thought.
Yeah.
No, you took your time. That was
He
good.
just needs a few more reps.
I was actually watching a little coverage from the Dynamic Disc Open
Oh
last
yeah.
night.
That
and
just recently came
just
out, didn't it?
recently came out, and I was watching Nico putt within the circle. He's very meticulous, takes his time, and he basically takes the whole 30 seconds.
Well, they were. What was I watching last night? Silver Cup coverage, and Kevin Jones and Nate Perkins were talking about it, and evidently people were making a stink about that Nico was taking longer than his 30 seconds, and both of them were like, I don't even want to think about how long. Like, I'm not keeping up with that. I'm not calling somebody on it because I don't want to be standing there looking at my watch while he's throwing instead of thinking
Right.
about my shot. So he takes a while, and evidently it rubs some people the wrong way, but it sounds like none of the other pros have a problem with it, and they're the ones, I mean, according to the rules, they're the ones who have to call it.
Right.
So,
Well, and in my opinion, if when somebody takes a while, what I do is I turn around and I just enjoy the scenic course, I just take in the landscape, whatever. I try not to
Yeah.
pay too much attention to what they're doing. But I did time Nico in my head on one time, and it was about 15 seconds. It seemed longer, but it was about 15 to 20 seconds.
yeah. All right, so first birdie of the round for anyone. Oh, wow, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Frosty at this point, you're +3. I'm +4. Blake is +7. If you're wondering why I left this in, you'll see after we throw. But that wasn't a great ace.
Oh, I went home and watched it immediately.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. The basket should look a little bit like the logo on the back of our Wreck to Death shirts.
Yeah, I mean,
After
if Double G hits it.
Oh, that might be another birdie.
That's the circle. Try the old putter.
Hole 8's a fun hole.
Yeah, I hear people talking about the high righty hyzer with a mid route, and I've just never. There we go. That's why we left it in.
Yesterday, the three of us were playing, and I had Abe out here with us. And when we got to the tee box, Blake said, I really feel like I'm gonna ace this one pretty soon. And then Frosty and I tee off from the white. Blake comes up here and well, yesterday he hit the cage of the basket right after he claimed it.
Awesome shot too.
I was trying to set him up, but he got in a hurry.
Yeah. Let the commentary guy go and then throw the 8 shot.
In his defense, he did look back at me like, "Are you still talking?"
He was just ready to rip it. He'd been waiting on hole 8 all day, probably.
Oh, I bet. Oh yeah, you said what did he say? If I ace in front of Coach Austin, I'll definitely make the team, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good chance. Really good chance.
Which, shout out to Blake for making Team Wreck to death.
Oh yeah.
By the way, he got the call the other night. Was super excited.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Nice birdie.
There you go. 2 birdies. Now I'm feeling really good. Right before the end of the round.
Yep. Get hot right at the end. And we played a few on the back 9.
Yeah.
And bag putting here, not recommended.
You even called yourself out right before you did it. Bought the bag putt here and then bag putted. A little bit too much hyzer. Still inside the circle, but
Right, it opens up over there. And
Round.
this is about
sneaky gap.
the
Oh, look
most
at you
local
go.
route.
That's the one everybody takes.
Went right behind it.
Yeah. Frosty's gonna be only out like 10 feet, maybe.
Oh, yeah, I think it was my only birdie. Ooh, and there's a reason that tree looks that way. Blake just caught the early one. Got work to do here, but if I remember correctly, it's he does pretty good work from here.
Yeah. And that's one thing, you know, that we talked about afterwards when we were talking about, you know, Blake making it or not. You know, he never really, I mean, he got frustrated, but he never let it, you know, affect his game.
No.
You know, we didn't keep filming after 9, but we played 10 through 13 and then 18, and he was +2 through those 5, you know, and birdie in the last one. So, you know, he never gave up. And, you know,
Man.
to his credit, you know, that's what, you know, when you're playing a sport, whether it's a team sport or an individual sport, or an individual sport where you're on a team, you know, what really matters is whether or not you stick with it and you know, not giving up on your teammates. So.
And I thought he did great. He had a good attitude, and this is the way you finished too. He finished with a birdie on 18, and
Yeah.
He felt real good. And he was critical of it himself a little bit too, but you know, being nervous for the tryout, understandable. And I thought, and you did too, that he did well. And obviously, Team Wreck to death.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was a round. We had to cut it short because I have work obligations I have to get to, but we did get to play, 14 holes.
Yep.
So I think that's a good enough sample size for Coach Frosty and I to talk it over and make a decision on Blake here. And then if he gets it, you know, we'll talk about sponsorship and all that kind of stuff, and trying to fill some slots in his bag. But that's it. How'd you like the 3 discs?
I actually liked them. I might actually keep the mid-range in my bag for a little while and work with it. I feel like it's something that I can get to turn, and you know, that's useful for the lefties out here in the woods. So overall, I liked it. I like the grip on the putter, but I'm going back to the deputies. I'm not changing that up. I feel comfortable with the deputies the way they are. And you know, we didn't do terrible for Cottage Hill, and only 3 discs, so pretty pleased with the score. We got a couple birdies out there.
Yeah. All right. How'd you feel about your round, Blake?
Good. Bad.
Yeah.
Had good shots.
What do you think was your biggest strength? Yeah, distance off the tee. You've made big strides in that lately.
I think he went long on hole 1, and went long on a couple of others. I think he went long on 11 with the mid-range, so definitely he's gaining the distance off the tee there for sure. And finished with a birdie. He went Coach Austin on hole 18, so that was an awesome finish.
Yeah, yeah. I like the driver. It's got it's a little bit less overstable than the Wraith that I bagged, so but it doesn't have quite as much glide. So I don't know if it would replace it. I didn't really like it for tomahawks, but it wasn't terrible. The mid-range, it's a lot like an EMAC, maybe with a little less glide.
Yeah, that's a good comparison there.
So I don't know if it would take the place of an EMAC in my bag. It definitely wouldn't take the place of any of my rocks. And then the putter was okay. Maybe it's just that brand new plastic. It didn't feel great for me when I used the birdie bag, or the dirt bag. But when I wiped all that off of it and putted, it felt great. So I don't know if that dirt bag feels better on the judges because they're older, more beat-in plastic, or I don't know what it is. But so probably none of mine will make the bag. So we may end up doing a giveaway, and we'll see how many views we'd have to get before we send some of y'all one of these discs.
There you go.
But any closing remarks or closing thoughts before we get out of here?
It's just enjoyable. Want to thank Coach Austin for taking his time to let Blake try out. I know it was exciting for him. He's been looking forward to it for a couple of weeks now, and he's put in the work.
It's definitely showed.
He's really put in a lot of preparation for this tryout. So we'll do our discussion later and see if Blake made the team.
All right. See the line and get after it.
See the line and get after it.
Says line, get out.
Wrecked to death.